I think that one of the most misunderstood concept around the Christian milieu is calling. While growing up, because I grew up in the village and we happened to have a seminary in the village. And so most of the people around the seminary, at least I had to even meet some of them. So when somebody grows up, maybe, and the person like feel led to go to the seminary, what you often hear is, God called me, so I went to the seminary. And so I grew up with the concept that those who go to the seminary are those who have been called. And so, me as an average Christian, I am not called. So that is a concept I carried for a very long time until I began to understand what calling is truly about. And I think that an average believer does not really understand what calling is. An average believer does not understand. And so we attribute calling to being, maybe to going to the seminary, or to becoming a pastor, or to becoming a lead pastor in church. It means that those who have been called are those who are serving in church, as especially as pastors or teachers and so on, or preachers. And so an average believer goes to church as a member, and it is a concept that has so much destroyed God's agenda and the purpose of God for a very long time. And it is something that we must take it as serious as it is, because if it is that only those who preach are called, then we are going to suffer a lot. The truth is that every believer is called. That is the first thing you need to understand. Every believer is called. Every believer has a calling. It is just that some express their calling within the four walls of the church, while others express their calling outside the four walls of the church. But no calling is superior to another person. None. All are the same. It is just that our geography of expression of our calling is different. So it is not like when you're going to the seminary, now you're called. Me that I've not gone to the seminary, I'm not called. No. It means that I will be useless to God. Meanwhile, I'll be looking up to you as the only person who is supposed to be useful to God. Meanwhile, everybody is supposed to be in the vineyard of God. Everybody is supposed to be at work. Everybody. Everybody. It's just like maybe an organization that only the manager says, I'm the one who is supposed to be working. And all the other people come to work and they just sit and they're looking at places. Imagine what will happen. Imagine. It means we have a whole lot of workforce who come every Sunday and they sit and they are looking up to the pastor as the only one who has responsibility to work for God. Meanwhile, they are just sitting there as people who are supposed to be collecting from God. What an irresponsible way to live. Every believer has a calling in God. Every believer. I'm speaking to you. Know that you have a calling in God, and your calling is supposed to be expressed. Whether God has come to you and you have seen a dream, or you have dreamt about something, or you have had encounters or not, know that you have a calling. In fact, it is not when you have visionary encounters that the calling happens. In fact, you were called ever since, even before the foundations of the earth. When you are responding to the call is when that is happening. That is a response to the call. In fact, most of the times, those encounters come because God has been saying that you are going outside that calling. Yes. And God is trying to use every means to make you come back. So you were called ever since. Just like Jeremiah. Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I separated you. I made you a prophet to the nations. So it is not when Jeremiah was born and he went to the seminary that he was called. No. He had a mandate upon his life even before he was born. There was already an assignment given to him even before he was born. So just like it happened to Jeremiah, the same thing is for you, my brother. The same thing is for you, my sister. It is not when something mysterious happens that you begin to say, now I answered the call of God and I had to go to the seminary. I had to stop work because I answered the call of God. No. Everybody is called. Everybody is called. Every believer is called. It's just that some are called maybe in the marketplace, while others are called within the four walls of the church. But everybody is called. Nobody is supposed to be idling in the vineyard of God. Everybody is supposed to be at work. Everybody is supposed to be productive. If not, you'll be an unprofitable servant. Everybody, even the story of the talent tells us, everybody receives something. Everybody. There is something you are supposed to be doing for God. There is something you are supposed to be doing for God. Know that there is a calling upon your life. Know that there is something, there is an expectation of God upon your life, even upon your generation. There is something that you're supposed to be doing for God, advancing the kingdom of God, bringing contribution, making sure that you represent God everywhere you go, winning souls for God. It is not left only for pastors. It is not left only for preachers. Everybody is supposed to be a preacher. It's just that some are supposed to preach in different places. When you read the book of Ecclesiastes, Solomon introduced himself as a preacher, as a king, and as a preacher. As a king and as a preacher. It means you can have that dual responsibility, that you are not just a preacher in church, you are a king and at the same time you are a preacher. You may not be opening your mouth and preaching with microphones, but you are a preacher. You have that agenda you need to have it as an ideology, that everywhere I go, I have to represent God. Everywhere I go, I am an ambassador for God. I am a representative of God. Everywhere. I don't have to hold microphone. I don't have to. But I'll be useless if I think that only pastors are supposed to be preaching. Like Solomon. I was king of Jerusalem and I was a preacher. I'm asking you, what have you been doing for God? What contribution have you given as far as contribution and advancing the kingdom of God is concerned? If you have not been doing it, know that you are living a wasted life. Calling is not just for pastors. Everybody is called. Everybody is called. You have a calling in God. That calling is to make sure that you advance the kingdom of God. You contribute. You serve your generation. Because there is something in you that God has deposited in you that your generation is supposed to benefit from. And if you die without releasing that thing to your generation, you can be termed a generational thief, because you have stolen from the previous generation and you have refused to contribute to make this generation better. What is it that you're doing with your life? How old are you? 25, 30, 18. There is something upon your life you're supposed to be doing. And believe me, you don't have all the time to do it. You need to maximize every season. You need to maximize every moment to make sure that that assignment is fulfilled. Thank you very much. If you want to be getting content like this, I want you to subscribe. I share content here on my framework called the CLIP framework: clarity, leadership, identity, and purpose. Make sure you subscribe and